Hello everyone, welcome back to NextLeap. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to give someone advice, but they got defensive? Tried to correct someone, but it turned into an argument? Wanted to say no, but didn't know how, or worse, you said something you thought was reasonable, but somehow, the relationship became awkward. Why does this happen? Is it because you're wrong? Not necessarily. It's because of how you say it. Pause for a second. Think about the last time a conversation went wrong. Was it really about the content? Or was it about the tone, timing, and delivery? Today, I'm going to show you something extremely practical. How to communicate difficult messages without damaging relationships. We'll cover how to disagree without conflict, how to give advice without sounding bossy, how to admit mistakes without losing respect, and how to avoid the most common communication mistakes. This is not theory, this is what actually works in real life. Let's get into it. Part 1. Don't directly point out others' mistakes. Let's start with something simple but powerful. Never directly say, "You are wrong." 1. Explanation. When you directly point out someone's mistake, you are not just correcting an idea. You are attacking their identity, and the moment that happens, the conversation is no longer about logic. It becomes about ego and emotion. Point 2. Example. You're wrong. This is the correct way. What does the other person hear? I'm smarter than you. And what happens next? They defend, they resist, they stop listening. 3. Real case. You might even be 100% right, but they still won't accept it. Why? Because people don't like being defeated in public. Point 4. Analogy. Think of communication like holding a glass. If you squeeze too hard, it breaks. Direct criticism equals too much pressure. Point 5. Better approach instead of attacking. Invite discussion. Say, I see your point, and I might be wrong, but I have another perspective. That's interesting. Can we explore another option? 6. Summary. If you want to be heard, don't make the other person feel small. Part 2. Disagree gently, not aggressively. Let me ask you, when someone says, "You're wrong," how do you feel? Now compare that to, "I see your point, but I have a different idea." Big difference, right? 1. Explanation. When emotions rise, logic disappears. So if you want your idea to be accepted, you must control the emotional environment. Point 2. Example. Your idea won't work. I understand your idea, and I'm thinking, what if we try another angle? 3. Analogy. Disagreement is like steering a car. If you turn too sharply, you crash. If you adjust gently, you stay on track. Point 4. Technique. Use these phrases. I might be wrong. What do you think about this? Can we explore another option? Now you're not fighting. You're collaborating. Point 5. Summary. Don't try to win the argument. Try to keep the conversation open. Part 3. Suggest. Don't command. Let's be honest. Nobody likes being told what to do, right? 1. Explanation. When you give orders, you remove the other person's sense of control, and people hate that, even if your idea is right. Point 2. Example. Do this. You need to change this. What do you think about trying this? Would this approach work for you? 3. Real scenario. Imagine talking to a colleague. Same idea. Version A. Fix this report. Version B. Could we adjust this part to make it clearer? Which one feels better? 4. Analogy. Command equals pushing someone's suggestion equals inviting someone. One creates resistance, the other creates cooperation. Point 5. Summary. If you want cooperation, give people a choice. Part 4. Admit mistakes quickly. Let me ask you something. When you make a mistake, what's your first instinct? Defend? Explain? Justify? Be honest. Point 1. Explanation. Most people try to protect their ego, but here's the truth. Admitting mistakes builds trust faster than being right. Point 2. Example. Instead of saying, "That's not my fault," say, "I see what happened. That was my mistake." 3. Real case. After an argument, you realize you were wrong. If you call back and say, "I misunderstood earlier, that's on me," what happens? Tension disappears, respect increases. 4. Analogy: admitting mistakes is like resetting the system. It clears emotional bugs. Point 5. Summary: protecting your ego costs relationships. Owning your mistake builds them. Part 5. Avoid heated arguments. Let's talk about something dangerous. Arguments. Point 1. Explanation: winning an argument does not mean you win the relationship. In fact, you often lose it. Point 2. Example: you argue, you win, they feel embarrassed, angry, resentful. What happens next? Distance. Point 3. Analogy: arguments are like fire, even if you control it, it still burns something. Point 4. Key insight: people don't change because of logic. They change because of atmosphere. Good atmosphere, openness; bad atmosphere, resistance. 5. Summary: don't aim to win arguments, aim to maintain connection. Part 6. Avoid common communication mistakes. Now let's go deeper. Even if you understand everything, you can still fail because of habits. Let's fix them. Mistake 1. Interrupting others' explanation. Interrupting equals disrespect. Even if you say, sorry to interrupt, it's still interruption. Example: someone is speaking, you jump in, what happens? They feel ignored. Rule: let people finish, always. Mistake 2. Absolute language. Words like, you always, you never. This is absolutely wrong. Explanation: these words close the conversation. No room for discussion. Better way: use flexible language. Sometimes it seems like, from my perspective. Mistake 3. I told you so, this is deadly. Example: someone fails, you say, I told you. What does it do? Adds pain, builds resentment. Better approach: offer support, not judgment. Mistake 4. Being too controlling, giving opinions on everything, judging everything. Explanation: you don't know their full situation. So don't act like you do. Mistake 5. Talking too much, rambling. Let me ask you, have you met someone who talks and talks and talks? Exhausting, right? Explanation: rambling equals unclear thinking. Solution: power technique. Use the 3-point rule. Always organize your thoughts. Point 1. Point 2. Point 3. Structure upgrade. Most people say, because therefore high performers say. Conclusion: reasons. Example: instead of, because of this and this, so I think. Say, my recommendation is X. Here are 3 reasons. Summary: clear thinking equals clear speaking. Final recap: let's bring everything together. When handling difficult communication, don't directly attack mistakes, disagree, gently suggest. Don't command, admit mistakes quickly, avoid arguments, eliminate bad habits. If you master this, you won't just speak better. You'll build stronger relationships. 结尾 NextLeap. So here's your challenge. In your next difficult conversation, try this. Don't prove you're right. Focus on keeping the relationship right. Pause. Think. Adjust your tone, and watch what happens. If this video helped you, you're going to love what's coming next, because in the next lesson, we're going into one of the most powerful skills of all: how to truly listen. This is NextLeap, where you don't just learn communication, you transform how people experience you. I'll see you in the next one.